And good afternoon once again. We are, in fact, about to see more pictures now from of the lunar surface from Apollo 11. With me here in our space headquarters in New York is our science editor, Jules Bergman. Jules, these should be interesting shots.
Frank, Apollo 11 is now on the near side of the moon, coming up on the Sea of Tranquility, the landing area where Armstrong and Aldrin are scheduled to land tomorrow at an altitude of 102 miles, and we're just getting the TV picture. Let's go to it for Apollo control.
Apollo control, Houston. We acquired TV at 78 hours, 24 minutes, 11 seconds. Currently, our orbital parameters show 104. Altitude, an apoloon of 170.2, a paraloon of 61.3 nautical miles, those are.
Hello, this is Houston. Would you care to comment on some of these craters as we go by?
Roger, we're approaching the approach path to ignition. This is equivalent to 13 minutes before ignition, and we're at about 80 degrees east, I guess. 83 degrees east. Would that correspond to location you're holding in present time?
Roger, we're showing your present position is about 76 degrees east, looking back towards the east.
You should be looking back at my Zeno.
Roger.
And the
We've now heard from all three Apollo 11 crew members during this television pass. The individual talking earlier was Neil Armstrong.
Ranger Schubert. And Gilbert U is in the center right now. And this comes up at about a little over 12 minutes before power descent. Instead of looking back at it, we'd be looking straight down at it instead now.
Roger.
Apollo 11 now
I'll
flying
show you an
backwards.
altitude now of about 110 miles, and of course you'd be considerably lower at the initiation of power descent.
This is exactly the same territory Eagle, the lunar module, will be flying over tomorrow as it begins its powered descent toward a landing on Lunar Landing Site 2, now about 100 miles to the west of where we are.
Look at register 3 on the Disky beta. Beta is increasing toward my desired 315, and I'll let the hand controller alone here, and I'll bet you it reverses itself.
They're just now passing out of Smythe Sea, heading along the lunar equator toward the Sea of Tranquility. And we should be seeing the craters Gilbert and Kastner shortly to the south of their flight path.
Roger 11, we're watching the Disky now, and still coming in beautifully on the TV.
The spacecraft faced around backward,
There's
looking
the
back.
right side of the screen at the present time. There's a triple crater with a small crater between the first and second, and the one at the bottom of the screen is Schubert Y. Zoom in. It does have a central peak in Schubert Y. Actually, several of them, and you can observe those. Plus the rim craters at the bottom of your screen.
Roger, we're seeing the central peak quite clearly now.
Our view of this tomorrow will be much closer, of course, and be down a good deal closer to the lunar
Okay,
surface.
we're zooming in now on a crater called Schubert N. Schubert N, very conical inside walls, and the bottom appears to be nearly flat. Look at data on the Disky. It's stabilized and is holding steady now.
Roger.
looking out the window, I can see a number of small craters on the bottom of Shipper Dent. We're coming up on the foaming sea where I'll be doing some P-22 marking on a crater of my choice, name of Crater Camp.
Okay, we'll be watching for Camp.
And notice Register 3 has reversed itself and is heading back the other way now without any pitch thruster firing.
Roger, Mike. We confirm that you've changed the direction of your pitch rate.
Looking directly down on the moon from 100 miles over it. As they move out of Smythe Sea into the foaming sea on their way toward the Sea of Tranquility.
Generally speaking, the tendency seems to be to pull a limb down toward the center of the moon as in a gravity gradient experiment.
Roger 11, we copy.
It may have something to do with mass times, or it may...
Roger, we've gotten...
It may have something to do with mass times, or it may just be the peculiarity of the disky display.
Okay, we've observed the behavior of your disky. I think we've got the data here to work on it. Let us grind around a little while on it, and we'll report back to you probably in a rev or two.
Okay, well, in the meantime, I'm going to pitch down toward 315.
Roger.
That's Mike Collins, who's flying in the left-hand seat, Spacecraft Commander Neil Armstrong's ordinary seat.
Three craters, three horizontal craters that you now have in the field of view are immediately underneath the ground track. The right hand and the largest crater that you see is Dubiago P.
That's Armstrong talking about.
Roger, we concur on the identification of that crater.
Arago B. That's the crater Neil Armstrong has identified. A small crater, as lunar craters go, one about 4 miles.
We saw you coming up on landmark Alpha 1 here shortly.
Roger, Mike having his first look at Alpha 1 at the present time.
These landmarks, like Alpha 1.
Yeah, it's a great bright crater. It's not a large one, but an extremely bright one. It looks like a very recent, and I would guess, impact crater with rays streaming out in all directions, which should make Smythe, or correction, the foaming sea easy to see coming up on it. Now, Crater Camp is one of the smaller ones out on the floor of the foaming sea.
We've been some 17 minutes now into this television pass, standing by, continuing to monitor.
They're now about 80 miles east of landing site 2 in the Sea of Tranquility, moving past the crater Kant, which you saw a moment ago.
This view is from about 110 miles up, too.
Right, they've reached their low point, or parasynthion around the moon, and are heading up toward the high point. And are picking...
the television camera. Look at that.
Okay, we show you
clarity.
over the Sea of Fertility now, and ought to have Langrenus down south of track a few degrees, about 9 degrees south of track.
Yeah, the crater that's in the center of the screen now is Webb. We'd be looking straight down on it at about 6 minutes before our descent. It has a relatively flat bottom to the crater, and you can see maybe 2 or 3 craters that are in the bottom of it. On the western wall, the wall that's now nearest to the camera, near the bottom of the screen, we can see a dimpled crater just on the outside. And then coming back toward the bottom of the screen and to the left, you can see a series of depressions It's the type of connected craters that give us most interest to discover why they're in the particular patterns that they're in. I'll zoom the camera in and try and give you a little closer look at this.
Roger, we're observing the dimple crater now. The central peak that we can see on the orbiter photos doesn't seem to stand out very well here.
Well, they're not central peaks, they're depressions in the center.
Roger.
And you'll notice on the pitch thruster activity, I put in a dozen minimum impulses and pitch down, and I'm still far from correcting back to 315. We're moving the camera over to the right window now to give you Langren. It's central peaks, and
Roger, we got Langrenus in our screen now.
And Langrenus is an enormous crater about 160 miles south of their flight path, a crater about 85 miles in diameter. And that's Collins and Armstrong zooming in the camera for a close-up view of it.
Okay, 11, this is Houston. We're getting a beautiful picture of Langrenus now with this rather conspicuous central peak.
Moving along into the sea of
the
fertility.
fertility doesn't look very fertile to me. I don't know who named it. Well, it may have been named by the gentleman whom this crater was named after, Langrenus. Langrenus was a reasonably accurate maps of the moon.
Roger, that's very interesting.
I'll have to admit it sounds better for our purposes than the Sea of Crises.
Amen to that. Okay, it looks like you're coming inside now on the camera.
Well, I can't get behind the steel monitor. I'll bring the focus in, but we're going to be looking down past one of the LEM quads, and one of the antennas almost straight down at the ground track that we'll be seeing coming in. Now, I guess this is maybe 2 or 3 minutes before power descent.
That's Lunar Module pilot Buzz Aldrin telling what we'll be seeing outside the window here of some of the LEM's thruster quads, or little reaction control system engines.
That should put the LEM structure about in focus. I'm going to move it out to infinity and then expand the field of view.
That's Buzz Aldrin, and we're looking at one of the LEM reaction control system quads. He's now zooming past it.
Crater Secchi is out my window now, window number 2.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. We show you coming up on the Terminator at 78:53, about 7 minutes from now. And we've also got the LOI-2 and TEI-5 pads ready for you after the TV, whenever you want to terminate over.
Roger.
And we're getting a good view of the track leading into the landing site now.
Apollo 11 sweeping along at about 3,700 miles an hour over the moon.
How far are they from the landing site now?
Okay, it looks like we had Secchi K go by about 10 seconds ago, coming up on Apollo Ridge.
300 miles.
And in the right-hand portion of our screen right now, we can see Messier, Alpha, and Bravo with the light-colored rays streaming off in one direction.
Capcom Bruce McCandless saying what Apollo Control sees from the same TV picture we're all looking at.
I don't know if you can make out, but in the Sea of Fertility, there are a number of craters that are just barely discernible, old craters whose outlines are just barely able to be seen.
Roger, I think we can make them out. The color really enhances our ability to discern features and craters over what we see in real time on our black and white monitor.
Right. At these low sun angles, there's no trace of brown. It's now returned to a very gray appearance, and like the H crew says, it has a look of plaster of Paris to it at this sun angle, which is completely lacking at higher sun angles.
Roger.
We're now some 25 minutes into our television pass.
And shortly, just along here,
This is very close to ignition point for power descent. Just passing Mount Maryland. That's a triangular-shaped mountain that you'll see in the center of the screen at the present time, with the crater Secchi Theta on top of the far northern edge of the mountain.
We're getting a good view of Mount Maryland and the Secchi Theta.
that was Neil Armstrong. They're about 260 miles east of the landing site, just about the point, as Armstrong was saying, where they'll ignite the LEMS descent engine tomorrow to begin their landing.
What we call Boot Hill occurs 20 seconds into the descent.
And it's easy to see what's on Armstrong's mind.
Sure. Watching this pass with a great deal of interest in Mission Control Center is Pete Conrad, the commander for the Apollo 12 mission.
Right edge of the screen is Insertion T. Now passing the 1 minute point in power descent.
Roger, and for your information, your current altitude is 148 nautical miles above the surface.
The clustered Censorinus craters.
I'm unable to determine altitude at all looking out the window. I couldn't tell whether we're down at 60 or up at 170.
I bet you could tell if you were down at 50,000 feet.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The clustered Censorinus craters we'll be hearing more of tomorrow right along their flight path as they do the power descent burn.
Some steep ridges here, the edges of old craters that were photographed by Apollo 10, and the crew of Apollo 10 was very impressed with the steepness of these ridges when they came over them at about 50,000 feet.
Roger, we can observe they're also steep even from this altitude. You've got quite a shadow being cast by the sun at these low angles.
The entire surface is getting considerably darker than the surface that we looked at previously when the sun was quite high above us. The crater in the right crater in the center of the screen, the smaller one, is Censorinus.
Roger, and we show you a little over 1 minute from the terminator at the present time.
Censorinus, a crater about 18 miles in diameter. And what Armstrong is doing is flying right down the glide slope.
The picture you're receiving, I think we ought to open up the f-stop sum as we approach the terminator.
Yeah, the brightness is still doing quite well. You can go ahead and open it up a stop or two. The automatic light level compensation seems to be working beautifully.
It's going to get dark at about the same time they pass over landing site 2 as they hit the terminator.
That's a good picture of Boot Hill.
One of the landmarks into the
Roger,
3 minutes and 15 seconds into the descent.
Roger, we're seeing Boot Hill now.
And the next crater coming into the bottom, that's Duke Island right there, and to the left, the crater, the largest of the crater near the center of the picture right now is Maskelyne W. This is a position check during descent at about 3 minutes and 39 seconds, and it's our downrange position check and cross-range position check prior to yawing over face up to acquire the landing radar. Past this point, we would be unable to see the surface below us until getting very near the landing area.
And what Neil Armstrong is saying is that at this point...
I imagine you get a real good look at that tomorrow afternoon.
We won't see it this way tomorrow afternoon, of course, because the little TV camera inside the command module won't be with them.
Continuous rail is the one that was referred to in Apollo 10 as Sidewinder. Good name, too. Sidewinder, Diamondback. Looks like a couple of snakes down there in the lake bed.
They would now be at about 37,000 feet over the moon if they were in a landing procedure.
And we're approaching the terminator now. And you see the contrast increase, and only the sunlit side of the bridges remain illuminated, while the dark sides in the shadow will become completely black.
11, this is Houston. The picture is getting a little grainy now. You might go ahead and open up the f-stop.
Landing point is just barely into darkness. That one crater is the upper part of which you see, lower part completely in darkness. A small, well-defined crater is Mulkey, which is about a beam of the landing site.
Roger, we can just see it looks like a little less than half of its rim right now.
And it would appear that the orbit of Apollo 11 is perfect.
Just barely some features on the surface, maybe from Earthshine.
The crater Mulkey there, about 30 miles south of their track.
Are you wide open on the f-stop at this time?
Where we are. Yeah, and it looks like we're just about to get the sun coming into the lens, so we'll have to move the camera away.
Roger.
We can't see any Earthshine or any surface features at all in Earthshine now due to the fact that the limb is very bright and is causing our pupils to contract.
Neil Armstrong took us through a dress rehearsal, or a typical instrument landing glide slope procedure showing how he'll do the PDI, the Power Descent Initiate Burn, tomorrow to bring Eagle, their lunar module, down to the landing site, Lunar Landing Site 2 there. And even more important was that he was right on the money, right on the right track, but not 4 or 5 miles south, as Apollo 10 had been over that same site. Apparently, the LOI burn, the trajectory and navigation guidance work, has been absolutely flawless. Armstrong appears to be all set up. Well, and as one of the men just said, looks like the limb is ready to go down, wants to go down.